my little message out there. There we go. Okay, we're on. I want to straighten myself out here. Whoops. No, we're still on. Okay. Straightening out myself here. Asta is popping in, and no, that's myself on the other side with my message showing. And Carolina, very good to see you guys. And yeah, okay. Let's see where we go today. Another ride into connecting with ourselves and seeing where this takes us. And Betty, rain in New York City. Yeah, we've been having rain over here, and was calm today. So very nice. Yeah, cleansing. You know, that brain sometimes just feels really nice, even when it's really strong and the winds are blowing. It's just kind of cleaning everything out. It's Jeannie Jubilee. Very nice. Nice to have you join. I don't remember seeing you before, so welcome. And so let's take a moment to just kind of shift from where we were before. And Lydia, hey, ready for the ride? Yoo-hoo. Yes. So just coming into that breath, just closing your eyes for a minute, letting yourself kind of relax down and chill. And Alexandra, hello. Good to see you too. Hey, Betty and Jubilee. Caroline's saying, hey, Betty and Jubilee from Instagram side. So they're not connected. They're two different devices. So it's cute. So very good. Yeah. All right. Now, again, kind of just coming into that breath and slowing down for a minute. So putting your awareness on what you're sitting on, just becoming aware of that surface that you are sitting on. And if you're lying down, just whatever you're lying down. And notice the pressure. There's like this pressure pushing up against your body from whatever you're on. And it could be, even if it's something soft, it's kind of like there, you know, kind of this support that's coming up to meet your body while your body is getting kind of pulled in by gravity, by the earth. Okay, so everybody's kind of all over the place with the grounding. So we'll work on that first. And Caroline, Betty, and Wisdom Happy say hello from the other side. So just close your eyes for a minute, if they're not already closed. Feel what it is you're sitting on or lying down on. Take a deep breath in and hold it at the top. And sorry, excuse me. If I'm talking too slow, you know, if I'm giving directions too slow, then just kind of release and then take the next big deep breath. But hold the breath at the top. Fill in as much as you can, and then hold the breath at the top. And then just as you release the breath out, as you breathe out, just drop your awareness down and down, down, down. Yeah, there we go. Everybody's dropping down. Oh. And gonna keep dropping you down. Yeah, this is interesting. We're actually cutting through, like just kind of drilling through, if you want, the collective consciousness. Yeah, we're sitting on top of it and we're just dropping down. So it's almost like dropping down to the depth of the ocean, you know, where there's that sonar. They drop that sonar down and it gets darker and darker, and there's just this little beep. And I see all of your connections dropping down, and it's sort of like the tip of it is like this little light going beep, beep. So just kind of letting your mind drop all the way down. Just your awareness, just feel that core of the earth. Yeah. Down, down, down. It's a little slow, and that's okay. We're just going to take our time to get down. We're kind of going through some relative layer of density. It's not density in a bad way, though. It's just the nature of that layer going down, 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 down. Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of caught up in that collective piece before getting on, probably. Oh, there we go. There we go. A couple more of you, a little further down. And then as soon as you connect in, let yourself stay there for a minute. Just kind of like, oh, checking in with the earth, the new earth. And it's not happening as quickly or as strongly, but it is happening. It's kind of very subtle today. There's just kind of like this little thread of energy kind of coming back up from the earth there, from the core of the earth. And as when people got to that connection, so keep this in mind. As soon as they connected in, it's like that layer of density just kind of like pulled back. So it's not so dense anymore. So in other words, that importance of grounding and being really connected in with ourselves and grounding in is part of what just kind of gets us centered in ourselves, and in that centering separates us out from that density, that heaviness. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's interesting. It's a very deep space. We went through the collective, but we're in a much deeper space than normal. So let's take advantage of that. Going to these deep spaces of existence, that's a really good opportunity for us to just unwind a lot of the stuff that's just unwind the distortions. And that really is an ongoing process. It's a little different as you move into less distortions. So in other words, we'll just say that more easily as you move higher, and moving higher means that you're just getting clearer and have less distortions in your system. You've got less identities, less attachments. And so coming into these deeper spaces of existence in the cleaner, there's different categories of deep space. This one is just, it's this primordial space. So we're getting into space that is a very high level of purity. And it's not that we're into what I'm going to say next, that we're kind of touching in on that piece, but that primordial space is where everything begins. And in that primordial space, what begins, there's a undulation that starts happening and sends out this wave through existence. And that's, oh, Shri, hello, Shri. Then it's the unfoldment of creation, so that's my description of it. So other people are going to describe it differently. But so see if you can just feel that. So feel your body, be really connected to your body. And with your awareness, you don't need to leave your body, okay? So this is a little bit of the boundary thing. Feel yourself within this boundary of your skin. You know, you're in this kind of watchtower or house or however you want to portray it. Have a sense of this. And the outside is, the skin is that outside. So if you can pull yourself in and feel like you're looking through your eyes, okay? And pulling yourself in all directions and then feeling this space that we are in. Wow. Okay, that just created another shift for everybody. That was a good one. Of just allowing yourself to come into that brilliance of who you are by connecting in deeply. So have a sense of that for yourself. There's different pieces that you might be picking up on. One is just that kind of it's like being, you know, to me, I would compare it to being in the middle of the ocean, but in so deep, you know, so it's you don't have the light of the sun coming in, and it's dark, but it's very soothing, very kind of calming. So that there's that piece, but there's everyone. Yes, a couple people are a little weaker, but that's not a problem. You're here. It's still happening for you. Just there's different level of strengths that's coming through, that brilliance that's coming from within you. So just focusing on your breath and focusing on being inside your body, that parameters of your body. And we'll just let ourselves float for a little bit here. Let's see where this takes us, right? So it's a very nurturing space. I think last time we kind of got into, one of these last times got kind of into a nurturing space, but different quality than this one. And let yourself just relax into this. And with each breath, just relaxing more into, I would say, being held by existence. This is a very nice, deep, powerful space. And see if you can have a sense of kind of that love for you, for each one of you. Deep love and acceptance. And just this kind of whole unwinding that's happening for people, for everybody, and it's just unwinding kind of all the excess stuff, the stuff that we've been carrying that we didn't realize was baggage that we were holding on to. I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but you're holding on to something, you're looking all over the place for it, and you kind of forgot it was in your hand, kind of thing. So it's that kind of thing. Very nice. And now, all right, let's get everybody going here. Some of you are starting to rise up, and it's sort of like, when you hold a ball underneath water and then it comes back up, comes floating back up. Just a little slower, but that's that. Some of you are still clearing some more out, and that's fine. What the hell? Take advantage of it, right? um, yeah, so I want to say that's you, Alexandra, but it might be some other people too. A couple, there's about two, three people who are kind of in this grouping, but it's this thing about having this, just this layer around you that's really held you in place. So a lot of things can do that to us. There's the family paradigm. So if you grew up in a family that had kind of very strong identities, oh, that's hitting on Betty here. Families or culture. So culture, I think, Betty, this is more for culture for you. But everybody just kind of tune in and see if there's any piece of that in there and for you. And we're just like, okay, we're going to let that go. But when there's a really strong like family identity or cultural identity, then it's got a way that you've got to conform, and it becomes like, it's like this mesh wire around your body that just kind of holds you in. So allowing that to just release. Yeah, it's almost like pulling the sausage out. Yeah, this is a little bit of a difficult piece to release. That's a pretty strong piece here. So just know that this is just something that you experienced in this lifetime to help you get to where you are now, to understand more about human nature. Yeah, there's a release there. And you is a different thing than that. So this is more about, all these things are more experiences of us, not who we are. And realizing that what we hold in our heads, because now it's the headpiece is a little stuck here. So the mind, the mind gets locked into, well, this is all it knows. And that's just the way the mind, that's a survival piece, because the brain functions that way to get us to survive, to get through, and that's fine. And then we need to be able to do other things as well. So, okay. So released at least a layer of that piece here. Yeah, there we go. Good. Yeah, good for you guys. And so some people are just a little less caught up in this piece. So let's release that. And just kind of swimming back up to the surface here. Whew. Very nice. Boy, that was a nice one. It's kind of a way to reset, reset ourselves, go into this deep space and allow that unwinding to happen, and not really focusing on, well, I got to shift this, I want to get rid of that, I want to clear that. It's just like you go into this deep space, kind of just realigning to the perfection of existence, and all the rest just starts to, it just unravels by itself, you know. It's like this ball of yarn that is just the coming off. So, all right. Wow, I think that was a really nice shift for everybody. As everybody rises out of the water now, just coming into this deeper state of being for yourself. Yeah. Bringing in some deeper awareness, deeper understanding of who you really are. Yeah, let's breathe into this one, and let's really kind of just allow ourselves to own this for ourselves. And it might feel a little bit like, you know, when you see the butterfly coming out of the cocoon and the wings are still a little wet, and it's just kind of like it's got to dry off. Might feel a little bit like that. So you, if you're, you know, if you're sensitive to energy, you might feel like you have to like wipe it off or something, and it's coming off. But you know, if you want to do that, that's fine too. Just breathe in, just kind of let it soak in. Let's just let it soak in, and let it be fertilizer for, you know, food for the new. Yeah, there we go. We don't always have to get rid of everything, or, you know, sometimes we just like, oh God, get this off me. It's like moving off. So we kind of get in this habit of clearing, but this is a piece that will nurture this newness in us. And that's one way to look at like what you're getting rid of, you know, instead of like, get the hell away from me. I mean, sometimes it feels like you need to do that. That's fine. That's fine. But also kind of have that sense for yourself that what you're getting rid of is like, you know, you're going to stick it in the compost, and then it's going to churn away, and then, you know, break down, and then turn into something that will really is good food for the new for the new seed that's in the process of coming out or growing out, you know. So that kind of gives, you know, when you have, sometimes when you just reframe things for yourself, like just now with this piece that I explained. So you'll find that it really, all of a sudden, things just open up, release, kind of relax. It's like, oh, you know, and kind of a very different flavor. So giving yourself more flexibility in terms of what flavor you're going to go for, and, you know, what's going to work best in this situation. It might be like, get the hell out of here, you know, slash the thing away. Or it might be, it's like, okay, that's fine. There's this old thing this old program, this old pattern, this old identity that, you know, that's just food for the new me. It's going to be help just grow the old new me, even as you're releasing it, you know, and thank it. You know, it's like, well, okay, you got me this far, and time to come into something grander for ourselves. Even with the old, you know, when you think about that breaking down of the nutrients in the compost, and then that breaking down turns has a way of giving it new life, of turning it into something grander than what it was previously. So everything in life is like that, really. And everything in existence wants to move higher, wants to move into better expression of itself. And another little trick, if you're dealing with something that feels like it's kind of entity-ish that you're trying to get rid of, it's like have a little conversation. It's like, well, if you let go, you're going to be like so much more powerful than you are now. Oh, really? Boom. that can be really that can be a little trick for just helping things move through faster instead of getting into this all-out battle with it. Yeah, very nice. Whew. Yeah, and let yourself feel kind of that joy and that happiness coming through. Sometimes we get so caught up in clearing stuff and doing hard work and you know um, just going through kind of tough emotions. So let's really allow ourselves to take in that happiness and joy. And that's a little bit foreign for maybe a couple of you here because, again, it's that mindset of, got this hard work to do to clear out all this stuff. So it's a little bit of the mindset um, of that clearing, and also, when you go through these periods where you have a lot of hard stuff that you're clearing, you can feel that part. So just realizing, okay, it's another thing. It's not one or the other. It's like all another possibility for you when it's best suited in the moment for what needs to happen. So kind of, and that's helping to unwind, spiral out stuff from the heart, is that joy. So that's good. Yeah, very nice. So come into your heart space, put your awareness down into your heart space, and just let yourself connect with that. It's joy. You might feel different things, but just that softness and that in that heart space. So you might feel love, you might feel joy, you might feel expansion. And coming into the acknowledgement of who you are again. So conversation from earlier, it's like, this is really what you're aiming for, is knowing who you are. You're not aiming to get rid of more stuff. You're aiming to know who you are. and really know it and own that. So I'm going to just kind of anchor that little seed in all of you. Keep breathing it into your heart space. And you might have like this sense of like this little bead of light in there, or a little glow or something in there. And it's that knowingness for yourself. So I'm going to just leave it in there to grow. And so coming out of that, it didn't look like a cocoon, but that cover, so that's actually what it's coming into being fertilizer and nutrients for this piece. So part of what I see in this layer that I described earlier, like the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, so that's on you. And there's different components to that. Part of what's in there is where you've been, but being able to see it from a different angle, so to speak, a different vantage point. And so having more neutrality, in some ways, having more compassion for that younger, more distorted part of you, and just kind of seeing that, and it's like, oh yeah, wow, that did a lot of work there. So instead of not liking who we were before, so having more acceptance and compassion for ourselves, kind of thing. Very nice piece. Yeah. Everybody's kind of glowing with that. Asta, that's really popping up for you. Also, a really good piece for you. Your little spirit one, just like, yes. So very nice. Yeah. Not that it's not for everybody else, but it just like, sometimes get these little reactions from people's spirits. And there's other people who are kind of watching this, because you're not, you're a little newer to this kind of work. And so it's like, wow, that can happen. That can actually, how did she do that? Or how did that happen, kind of thing. So you're just watching, and so that's good. And that's just kind of the learning process, giving you your awareness for more kind of like more possibilities for yourself, more of what you can dive into and unfold for yourself. Yeah, very nice. It's just a little bit more of a group space. People aren't really standing out, but sometimes, yeah, we have Janine. I realized I said your name wrong earlier, but Janine, everybody else I think, has been here before that I'm seeing, at least, on the chat. I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions in, I'm going to just call it the New Age movement, or the awakening movement. So now we can really call it the awakening movement more. I would prefer it more that way. There's a lot of misconceptions because they've become misconceptions. Let's put it that way. They've become misconceptions because they haven't shifted over time and haven't evolved into what they need to be for where we are at now. So at one time, they were really brilliant ideas and very expansive ideas and really helped us to open up. But now it's they they got stuck back to the original time and haven't shifted and evolved. I hope that makes sense. No, it's like if you have an idea, you have, for example, you have an idea for a house. Let's say you want to move into a house. It's like, well, you start with an idea, but then as you develop your plans for what you want in that house, it kind of shifts around. It's like, well, you kind of draw it this way, and it's like, yeah, that idea that I had, yeah, that doesn't quite fit. We need to like shift things around a little bit. So that's what the process of evolution is. It's for everything. Everything needs to unfold and evolve as we move along. So if you were to just take that original idea of the house and you just stick with that, and it just starts to as you go along. At first it's, oh yeah, this is great, and then it's like, yeah, it's just not quite working right, and what the hell were we thinking about this, and that kind of stuff. Um, so there's a little bit of that for people who are new on the call, of a little bit of this opening of like, wow, okay, I didn't realize that I could do it this way. That there are more options for kind of thing for yourself. So very nice. So take a deep breath in. Let's kind of hold it at the top and hold it for, let's 5, 6, maybe 10 if you can. And then exhale the air all the way out until you can't breathe, you can't exhale anymore. You're just pushing all the way out, and your breath just comes right back in. Yeah, very nice. So, yeah, very good. Very nice. How's everybody feeling? That was kind of a neat session there. And you're welcome to share like your experience of the session also, if you want. It's always kind of fun to hear what people experienced there. And while we're waiting, because there's a little bit of a lag time for people to get around to writing something and then for it to show up. But while you're doing that, I'll just flash up my little value donation. If you are inclined to make a donation, it's like, wow, okay, this was nice, I like this, and as a thank you, there's a QR code for on YouTube and on Instagram. You just go to the link in the bio, and that will take you to Coming Into Being, and on there you'll find the I don't know if it's a QR code, I can't remember now, but a link for that donation. I've been questioning something. Connect to that. Okay, I'm not sure I understand what you want to say. Feel good. The other side from Asta. So, wisdom happy. I gotta like that. Wisdom happy. Can you elaborate on that? Connect to that. Is that what you've been questioning? That connect to that. Connect to Lydia. Okay, so yeah, wisdom happy. If you can just kind of clarify that, what you're saying. Lydia, being held by existence itself. I'll take this with me. Yes. We get so in a place of fighting because we've been so long in this survival and battle for survival, and a lot of things we've had to be battling. But whatever you said about the New Age thing, oh, okay, yes. Yeah, and so that piece about the New Age. So it's the paradigms, and everything is really, really shifting. I kind of compare. I started doing this work about 20 some years ago, and so it's really interesting to see because it's qualitatively different now in the ethers than it was back then, and everything is in the process of just shifting and dismantling and getting to a new place. And so It's not necessarily that we're gonna get rid of all this stuff. It's just it needs to evolve. It needs to step into a new expression of itself, yeah. And I'm sorry, the new age, I mean, 20 years ago, I was like the new kid on the block and in a very new age town, Asheville, North Carolina, for those of you who know that town. And, I mean, the concepts that people had back then, it was like, "What?" It just didn't make any sense, but it just really anchored in, like people for example, I came up with this, it's like people think that they've changed their religion and all they've done is change their vocabulary. Because you had people I'd see these people who are the new agers, a lot of my new age friends, it's like, "Oh, well, I stepped away from religion and all that, da, da, da," and here they are going to Sunday service. How is that? And just kinda doing exactly the same thing, but the context is different, so they think they're doing something different. That's not necessarily doing something in a new way. Let's see, Betty, definitely regard my family and culture status too. I come from a famous family, really. There you go, a double whammy. And it is difficult to explain every time I meet someone from my culture how I have this name. Well, then don't explain. you know, let's see what else. Yeah, I can relate to. I can understand what you're saying, though. Yeah. Um, Heavily this week, not what it seems for positive after all. I just said it in PM later. Not positive, been sold a lie. Well, I'm going to reframe that a little bit. I mean, some of the stuff, yes, definitely sold a lie. And some of it is at the time, it made sense. And the level of consciousness, we're going in through a drastic change in consciousness, drastic change. And so now it's become really obvious the lies that are out there. I mean, you look at, even at the normal level of life, it's blatantly obvious. Um, so some of that is yes, you've been sold a lie, and other things because it's a control piece, and other things is like, well, things have changed so drastically that they have become lies. So yeah, so just sort through that for yourself. Let's see, Betty, it's been a point of pride and embarrassment to be famous and no longer have the money associated with it lost. That's typical of Europe. A lot of families, I'm in this small town, and for example, in this town, there's this house that it's a friend of my mom's, so I know a little bit of the story behind that. But it's the house of where Marianne, no, what was her name? I can't remember her name now, but who married, Marie Antoinette, uh, um, Louis the 14th. So they had the marriage here. And she stayed in the house that's on the port. Now, the family who owns that house now, they can't afford it. So Europe is full of people like that. Yeah, it's and you look at these Jane Austen movies, and you from that frame of reference of this whole money thing and how much money they needed to and maintain, or Downton Abbey, that was a big thing that comes up. It's like the money to maintain that style and everything. Yeah, so a lot of pain, a lot of loss, because there's a lot of attachment to this is who we are, is this piece, instead of no, this is who we are in here, that grandness of who we are. So needing to shift out of that. So you're doing a lot of work for, there's your personal work that you're doing, but because of the awareness that you have, there's a lot of breaking away of the family and freeing up the family with that. Let's see, Alexandra, the old being a compost that disintegrates and becomes fertilizer for the new. Yeah, yes, absolutely. Those old leaves turned away. Very good. Quiet on the Instagram side of things, but very, very nice. Very nice session. Yeah, very, very good, very deep. Okay, so every Wednesday, for those who are new, and at 7 p.m. Central European time and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Betty says, love that, Alexandra. Yes. Take that. Take all the good stuff. And the bad stuff can be good stuff. Sometimes it's just a question of reframing how we see it, how we view it. And sometimes it needs to be gotten rid of. It's too old. It's too, it's too broken. So a little bit of a sorting process now. Oh yeah, and it came up. I think somebody said earlier. I think it was you, Wisdom Happy. Made me think. This has been really. It's the energy's been really chaotic this weekend especially. But also there's this piece where February has been like that, and it's still like that. We'll see when that shifts, but of things being just not really getting them done. Like there's always one more step to really complete something, really finalize something. So we need to be patient with ourselves and then with whatever's going on. And always just, when you find yourself getting just come back and recenter, realign to yourself. So very nice. Nice to have you all here. It's always fun. And sometimes the group is smaller, sometimes it's bigger, and it's always good. So come on by again, and nice to see you, and see you next time, wherever that is. If it's in the ethers or on Coming Into Being again, or wherever we connect up. Okay, so take care, everybody. And you're welcome. Yeah, and welcome, Cherie and Betty and everybody.